Well, welcome to session 1A. This is going to build us on from what we did the last session. Last session we did the pet shop practice. Now we're going to finish off and we're going to do the fruit sales, which is slightly different. So again, we've got a completed sheet and we're going to do this sheet here. I think first of all, we're going to put some borders around it. So I'm going to highlight in cell 1A, keep my left mouse click, and then just drag that area there. Go up to my borders and then add a border there. Now I need to find the totals, and again I can find the totals for the apples, pears and oranges by using the sum, auto sum, or I can just highlight them cells, press Alt and equals, and it will come up with them figures for me now. This here is a currency, so it's 9p, 11p and 13p, and we've got the total sales. So what we need to do is the total sales is going to be the total number of products sold by the selling price. So I'm going to put an equation in there. So that's going to be equals cell B5 multiplied by cell B6. Press enter and you can see 216. I'm now going to replicate that formula across. So I'm just going to go to the bottom right hand corner, drag it across, and there we go. I've put the total in there. We're going to change these to currency now. So I'm going to highlight them cells there and then go up to this general tab, click on currency to 2 decimal places, and we can see that we've got that there. If I wanted to put the sums in for these, I could just put that auto sum, and then it'd give me the figure directly for what I've got there. And I'm just going to make that a little bit stand out, make that in bold so I can see my bits there. And if I wanted to, I could make them bold, change a little bit, make them stand out a little bit more. So add up how much fruit has been sold, done that. Find out how much money has been made, make a graph showing how much fruit has been sold in January, February and March. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight fruit sales January, February, March and highlight these cells here. Then I'm going to go to insert. Click on recommended chart and it's given me some different options, and we can see I've got this and it's quite nice there. I can use different ones. I think you've got to look at your data and then decide how you want it to be. I could use it in horizontal columns, but I think I prefer the vertical columns. Then I'm going to click OK. And if I can left click in this area here and I can move my chart wherever I want it to be. If I right click, well, I can see now that I've got the chart design and the format open. I can move the chart. I could click move chart and I could move it to a new sheet so it's on its own. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cancel that. I want it there. Okay. And again, to get the chart title, I just click in the chart title, go up to the formula bar, and I'm going to put number of fruit sold. Press enter, and it'll come up. I'm going to go to my axis labels, primary vertical, and just put number. And we can see that I've got the number of fruit sold there. Okay. Per month, and that's quite handy. If I wanted to copy this into a Word document, I would just right click on it, press copy, and then that would copy that to my clipboard, and then I could put that into a Word document if I wanted to. So okay, that's the number of fruit sold. Let's look at the and all I've done on when it says the £21.60. Okay, that's wrong. That is, it should be 9p, not 90p. So these are wrong on there because 90 pence for an apple is probably quite expensive, but it shows you the difference. It's 0.9 there instead of 0.09. Okay, so it's 90 pence an apple, so that's wrong. So this figure would be wrong. So if I change that to 0.09, that will make it the same. So that's probably a little bit better. If we now go on to the meals, we can look, it says the first task is to make all the data visible, and we can see that this area has got little bits truncated. I think there's little bits missed off. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just going to left click in between the columns and then highlight and then move it that way. Complete the totals, find the biggest spender. Well, the totals, all I need to do is just, well, I'm going to put these into borders first. The totals, again, if I just press Alt and equals, it will come up and it's automatically put them there. I think probably because I've already formatted them columns to be in currency, it's done that already. But just to change all these into currency, go up to my currency, this tab here, currency, and then it changes that to currency there. The total, well, the total now equals the sum, open brackets, and I'm going to select that range there, close brackets, close parenthesis, and then press enter, and it comes up with £193. And what I could do if I wanted to, I could make that stand out a little bit more. Now it says find the highest, so here I'm going to use equals max, open brackets, spend there, oh they close down there, close brackets, press enter, and it's come up with £30.15. Okay, and this one, the minimum equals min, open brackets, highlight the range, close brackets, and then press enter. The difficulty here is it doesn't tell you exactly who the person is. It just says that the highest spend is £30.15, and that's max, and the lowest spend is £22.65, which is Martin. Now, if you look on the meals completed, I've used what's called an XLookup function, and we've not done this before, so this might be a little bit too much for some people, but I'm just going to demonstrate this so that you can see. I could write in here that that's max, and I could write in there that that is Martin. The difficulty doing that, or the major problem, is that if somebody else becomes a bigger spender, let's say that we've put Marie now as £20 for breakfast, she now becomes a bigger spender, but this doesn't change automatically, which is not really what we want. So one way that we can do this is I'm going to use what's called an XLookup function. So I'm going to type in there equals, and then I'm going to go to the functions bar, which is here. I'm going to press that, and then I'm going to type in there XLookup. Press enter, and it comes up with the XLookup function there. Press OK, and then it's going to look up the value. So it's now asking me to look up the value. So what I'm going to do now is click in this value here. So it's looking up the value in this cell here, B12. Look up the array. Well, that's this here. And then the reference is this row here. And then it gives me some other options, and we can see that it's already automatically picked up that that's Marie Patty there. And then there's other things I can put in there, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to click OK, and we can see that it's automatically put Maria in there. So if I now change this to £5, you can see that it's changed, and it automatically puts Max in there. I'm going to show you how to do that. So in this cell, I'm going to type equals, use the fx function. I'm going to use XLookup. I'm going to look up the value, which is this one here. Look up the array where it's getting this data from, which is here. And then what it's going to return is the reference, which is these names here. Okay. And I'm going to click OK. And you can see it comes up with Martin. Now, the beauty of that is now if I change any of these figures, I can then change that. So if I change that to 5, we can see that John becomes a higher spender. And if I change one of Martin's so that he has £15, we can see that Marie becomes the lowest spender. And that's quite handy when you've got a lot of data. And that function is what's called the XLookup. We do that on the improvers course, but I just wanted to demonstrate that for you. Some people may find that quite handy. Okay, hopefully that was useful for you, or it's confused the hell out of you. So I've just used the fx function there and then typed in what it was. So you can see that it says it equals XLookup. It's looking up the value for the cell in B12, which is there. It's then looking for where that value comes from, E2 to E8, which is there. It's finding that value, and then it's returning the figure that's in there. And it can do other stuff as well, but this is just showing you there. Okay. Create a graph to show the meals. Create a graph to show the meal spend. So what we can do to show the total meal spend, I'm just going to highlight them cells there with the names, press Control, and then highlight that there. I could highlight all of these, but then it'll include breakfast, lunch, and dinner as well. I just want to see a graph to show the meal spend for the total meal spend. So I'm just going to highlight the name, press the CTRL key, and highlight the totals, go to Insert, Recommended Chart, and you can see I'm going to click on all charts. We've got totals there. Click OK. Give that a chart title, meal spend, total meal spend. Use the axis title, primary vertical, pounds, and we can see that we've got the spend there. Now, the beauty of having a chart is if I were to change any of these, so you can see Marie at the moment, she's here. If I change this to £20 for breakfast, we can see that it automatically will change that there. So hopefully I've not confused you too much. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, thank you.